Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union Energy Update. Today we're going to be taking a look at what's going on between the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine energies. And I am going to do a reading today where we are splitting up the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. Take each section as it resonates for you. If you're Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine reading might be resonating for your inner masculine. If you're Divine Masculine, the feminine energy might be resonating for your inner masculine. We hold both energies within us, so it might, especially as these energies are becoming so merged, it might resonate however you see fit, wherever you are along your path and along your journey. First, I want to say thank you guys so much for your support, your condolences, and your love. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It has been a very difficult past 2 weeks for me and my family. But I really want to send a lot of love and gratitude to you, especially those of you who joined me on the live stream last night. It was very unexpected, my grandmother coming in, but very beautiful as well. I was able to have a beautiful little chat with her. She was just popping in to make sure that my dad was okay and to make sure that I was okay and to just share her love and send her love, and she's very, very happy, which makes me happy. So the rest of the week I will be spending with my family for the funeral, and then we'll be back next week with daily energy draws, more collective readings, and all that good stuff that you've come to know and love on the channel and that I love doing for you guys. So I want to say a very special thank you to all of you for your love, compassion, and support. I want to give a special shout out to Bettina, who is a community member. She sent in this Starseed Oracle deck, which is amazing and I love. So we might do a Starseed reading next week as well, so stay tuned for that. Amazing cards. Thank you so much, Bettina. Really appreciate that. Okay, so first, let us get some union energies for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. Okay. We have light language transmissions that are already up on the channel. We just did one for releasing difficult situations. I'm going to have one for healing grief whenever I am able to do it, whenever it comes in. I was brought in the title for it. Sometimes the energy takes a little bit to come in, but once I get the green light, that will be posted. We also have the Ascension support pick a pile, so make sure that you're checking that out as well. I'm also getting called to say that past readings are still resonant even now. I've been called to watch some of my past readings here on the channel from a year ago, and some of the messages have deeper understanding and deeper meanings now than they did when I channeled those messages first a year ago. That's because time's an illusion. Everything is here and now, so if you're called to a certain reading, if you're called to a message, it's because it has relevance for you now. So we have a full playlist of, we have almost 800 videos here on the channel right now. So feel free to go through the playlist, especially the daily energy draws and the Sacred Union energy updates. Some of that might call to you and might be relevant for your situation right now. I know some of you have emailed me and let me know that you have been called to go back and listen to some other readings. There was a reading that kept popping up for me in my feed, and that I was called to go back and listen to it, and it was remarkable, not only the transformation that I saw within myself and my journey through what I was channeling, but there were deeper understandings and deeper teachings that I was able to understand that has helped me along my journey at this stage of my journey as well. So feel free to go back and, see whatever calls to you. Especially these past few weeks, the Sacred Union energy updates from these past few weeks is still highly charged. So the past few weeks Sacred Union energy updates will still hold relevance. So don't, all my readings are meant to be timeless, so don't just, I watched this or I listened to this, before, a couple weeks ago. It's still relevant. So trust your intuition, go where you're guided, and trust the messages that are coming through for you. Okay, let's see. Spirit, what is the union energies between the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine at this time? What's the union energy for my collective? clear my energy really quick. Let's see what is going on. Oh, we have family. This is interesting. I channeled this message for a friend of mine earlier. That's what this feels like. This family energy feels like foundations. And not so much the foundation outside, not so much the family outside, although soul families coming in, connecting more and more to soul family, bringing in that soul family, but the soul family within yourself. The foundation of family within yourself. What does family mean to you? How are you your own family? How are you parenting your inner child? How are you parenting your inner adolescence? How are you taking care of your adult self? It's the focus on these sacred partners has really been on the self lately, to the point where you and your divine counterpart might have actually, I don't want to use the word separated. It might look like separation. It might look like breakups. It might look like going your separate ways, but that's all it is. There's a focus on your individual paths, a focus on your individual selves right now, where the divine masculine is focusing on their selves, their individual worlds. They are focused on their experiences, overcoming any challenges, overcoming any obstacles, transforming their beliefs, transforming their inner world. Divine Feminine is really focused on the outer world. She's really focused on changes within her outer experience, where she is, in a way, stepping into the limelight, stepping into her abundance, stepping into this, what I'm hearing is the golden hour. The golden hour in photography is like that place where there is just this time in the day where there's just the sun is hitting just perfectly and there's this beautiful golden light on the subject, and that's what this feels like. It feels like the divine feminine is really stepping into the golden hour because of the transformation that she has enacted upon herself. All the healing work, all the clearing work, all the deep dives, bringing all that trauma to the surface to be released. And this Scorpio full moon really did a doozy on both counterparts, really bringing all that, drawing all that up to the surface. But what's happening is there is a lot of opportunity, a lot of abundance, a lot of just higher vibrational energy coming into the divine feminine's energy, because of the changes and the transformations that she has made. And it's like it's her time to shine. That's not to say it's not the divine masculine's time to shine, but I'm really getting the sensation of divine masculine is really called to really ground in and root down into themselves. They're doing a lot of inner work, divine masculines, and the divine feminine's time to shine, because that is actually helping the connection. The feminine shining her light is helping keep the light for the divine masculine, helping to hold the light for the divine masculine, for the deep inner work that the divine masculine is currently going for or going through. And so what's happening is there is a foundation that is being laid within. This is this sense of feeling of belonging within the self, feeling of support within the self, feeling of the strength within the self, feeling of self-empowerment within the self. There's a lot of work that's happening within the self. And so when I say this energy of family within the self, yes, you feel this with each other, but this is really inner work that's happening for both counterparts. Although divine masculine is really doing this within the inner self, divine feminine is really experiencing changes and shifts within her outer world. And again, all of it is going to help and support the connection as a whole, but it might seem on the surface, in the physical reality, in your physical experience, like you're kind of going your separate ways right now, and that is going to play out in a number of different scenarios, a number of different ways, depending on what your relationship looks like with your divine counterpart, depending on what your relationship looks like. What your path looks like. So there is going to play out in a number of different ways, but there's really this sense of, it's interesting. What I've taught in the past, what they had shown me was a circle. And when you and your divine counterpart first came together, there was this recognition, this soul recognition. And then you experienced what's known in the community as separation. Now remember, you're always on the path of sacred union. You're on the same line of the circle. You're on the same path. But what happens along this journey is you do have to separate. It's perceived separation. Separation is just an illusion to kind of focus on yourself. But what's happening is the more you focus on yourself and go along your path, the more divine masculine is going along their path, or vice versa, depending on what energy you are. And what's happening is this is all about self-love. This is all about self-empowerment. And the more you learn about yourself, the more you ascend within yourself, what's happening is you're getting closer and closer to that union, because it's that inner union. And that's what these counterparts experience, because inner union leads to outer union. Inner union is that wholeness and that completeness within the self. It's that balance and harmony of the masculine and feminine energies within. And when you're these true sacred partners, when you're these twin flames, for lack of a better label, I don't like to use the label because it's been so confused. It's been so kind of corrupted. But when you're these counterparts, the masculine energy within the embodied divine feminine is your masculine's energy, is your divine masculine embodied. The divine feminine, or the feminine energy within the divine masculine embodiment, is the feminine's energy. That's why you feel each other so deeply. That's why you have that soul merging. That's why you have the chakra mergings, the balancing, the harmony that happens there. I've done a lot of teachings on that. I don't want to go really into depth about that here, but that is to say that you still have your own individual experiences. You still have your own paths. As far as, you're still unique individual expressions of source energy, but you're the same energy. It's what I like to say is, they're bringing me to this. What I usually like to say is, everybody is a beautiful, unique thread in the tapestry of creation. And you and your divine counterpart are that one same thread. But it's also like this. They had given this to me a long time ago, where you are all the ocean. We are all the ocean. That's unity. That's oneness. And all individual drops make up the water in the ocean. But you and your divine counterpart are that same drop of water. You're the same essence. You're the same, in essence, the same energy. So what happens is you're going through the ascension process, and you're still doing it together, because that circle, that line, that path that you're on is your energy, is that oneness, is that one energy. Just looks like you're separated because you might not be doing it physically together, but you're still on the same energetic stream. And so what happens is, the more you ascend, the more one ascends, the more the other ascends. That's quantum entanglement. That's pure physics. That's physics that has been determined. And so what's happening is you get closer and closer to that physical union, because you're clearing out all the toxic elements. This is past lifetimes. This is childhood. This is, any trauma, any toxic conditioning, any patterning, any false beliefs or old beliefs that just no longer serve higher consciousness. That's what you're doing on this ascension journey. That's what ascension really is. But you're doing it in partnership with another. You and your divine counterpart are catalysts for each other, for each other's growth. With true divine counterparts, true sacred partners, you always have the undercurrent of love and the undercurrent of forgiveness. What you and your counterpart have been doing recently is clearing out all the trauma and all the bonding as a result of that trauma. Now, the trauma doesn't necessarily come from both of you. That's not this connection. But you trigger that trauma in each other for it to come up to the surface. And you do so from a place of unconditional love. Your partner will never, ever, ever intentionally hurt you, but they might draw the hurt out of you. That is the difference between this and toxic relationships. This and more imbalanced relationships. They will never intentionally hurt you, but they might draw the hurt out of you, because they are meant to trigger you into healing and into clearing. And so along this journey, they then showed me it's not just the one circle. When you reach one phase of the journey, which we have, this is what we've been talking about for the past several months, we've reached that conclusion of one phase. Now we have already entered into the new. We're transitioning into the new. We've crossed that threshold over these last several weeks. And what happens is there's another circle. And that's when you start your journey together. Now, for some, it's more of an energetic together. For others, it is more of a physical reunion. Now, the energetic togetherness, you'll feel that reunion and then it'll manifest in your physical. But these are physical reunions that are coming in. It just might take some time, depending on where you are on your path, where you are on your journey, for it to show up in the physical. That doesn't mean it's not happening. What you're meant to do. Oh, and let me finish this. They're asking me to finish this. So it's another circle, and what it does is it creates an infinity sign. You're doing it together now. So where you had come together, recognized each other, kind of separated, because remember, you're always in union. It's just the illusion of separation. In order to continue to ascend, in order to clear, in order to heal all those toxic elements, to transcend beliefs, especially around relationships and conditioning according to old relationship templates, what you expected that to look like, what you thought it would look like. You're throwing all that out the window, because this is, you just have to trust what you feel. You can't trust this is the way relationships should go. You can't trust the old template, because that's an old belief. This is just love, and love just needs to flow and be whatever it is, despite what it might look like to the outside world, despite what it might look like to a society. And that was something that we all had to learn on this journey, just to trust our intuition, trust what we felt, and keep allowing it to unfold despite what it might look like on the surface, not putting it into boxes, not putting it into labels, not putting it into a set timeline. That's the old template of relationships. So you coming together into reunion, moving into the next phase of your union, next phase of your ascension journey with your counterpart. That's where we are right now, starting the journey together. But no matter which path you take along the circle, you know you're doing it together. So it creates that infinity sign. That's this love that we have channeled that flows infinitely. It's the beautiful flow of give and receive, beautiful flow of harmony and balance. So what's happening now is, what you're doing is you are releasing the journey. You are releasing, in essence, the bond of the journey, the container of the journey that you had placed on this. And in order to kind of have this fresh start with your counterpart, and with that, you're releasing all attachment to the journey, to the labels, even to your counterpart in some way. Always connected, but releasing the this is my sacred partner in order to just allow it all to unfold. In order for you to keep moving forward on your path as you come together with your divine partner. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. I know that might be confusing because we haven't talked a lot about that yet. I think we talked a little bit about that in the previous Sacred Union Energy update. I had wanted to do a channeled messages video last week about this, but I was not able to. But I will. I will talk about that more. I will share anecdotes. I will share my own experiences to kind of give an example. But you're releasing the journey. You're releasing the bond in order to fully recognize the connection and step more into the flow of love for each other. You're releasing so much of that need, of that attachment, of the pressure, that even though you have been doing that all along this journey, there was still some residual energy of that you had to release in order to move more into flow, in order to come into harmony and work together. And that's what's being released. And so a new foundation is being put into place. Divine feminines and divine masculines are really stepping into their divinity, into their magic, and recognizing their magic outside of the journey, outside of the connection. And that is only going to help the connection come together. So when I talk about all of this, remember that even if I'm talking about separateness, there is no separateness. Even if I'm talking about individual paths, there is no individual paths when it comes to you and your sacred partner, because energetically, in love, you're doing this together. So when I talk about the family within, how you are nurturing the family within, building a foundation of family within, what I'm talking about is recognizing your strength, recognizing your magic, recognizing your divinity, recognizing the love within yourself, the true love within yourself, the connection within yourself, the source energy within yourself. And the more you do that, the more you feel your connection with your divine counterpart, the more they feel that connection to you, the more you're building a much more stable foundation within this unconditional love, within this union. And the more you come together as a family in your external experience, whatever that looks like to you, that soul family energy, whatever that looks like for you in your relationship, the more you come together in that energy. So that is really beautiful. Okay. Let's go to, I'm getting called to Divine Feminine first. So let's talk about the Divine Feminine first and see where she is on her journey. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting Divine Feminine first. Okay. Getting the go ahead. All right. All right, Divine Feminines. What's the current energy for the Divine Feminine when it comes to this connection? What's the current energy for this Divine Feminine? What's the current energy for this Divine Feminine? What's the current energy for this Divine Feminine? Yeah, I thought that would come out. Okay. Current energy for this Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine. Okay. Let me get one more. I want to get one more. Current energy for Divine Feminine, please. Oh, gosh. Current energy for Divine Feminine, please. Thank you. Okay. I wanted to get some clarifiers. Okay, so what we have is the World and we have the Queen of Cups. I'm going to start with this for a second. We're going to get to these messages. I thought there was something more, and there was. So we have the World and we have the Queen of Cups. And what I love about this is I was actually seeing the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles has a very golden glow about it. And that's exactly what this is. If you can see the card here. See how that golden essence, she's wearing that golden robe. They're also pointing me to the red underneath, which is root chakra, which is very stable, very secure, very grounded within the self. I feel like Divine Feminines are recognizing that a cycle has come to an end. And the cycle that came to an end was releasing the journey as a whole. And in many cases, it was releasing the attachment to their divine counterpart, releasing that obsession, releasing the bond, that hold that the journey had on them, releasing all the focus on their divine masculines in order to put that back on themselves, put the focus back on themselves, to recognize that they are worthy of creating the life that they dream of. For a lot of Divine Feminines, they have put a lot of themselves aside for their divine masculines. That journey, that phase of the cycle, that phase of the journey is coming to a close, or has come to a close. And what I'm actually hearing is this energy of success, this energy of achievement, this energy of brava, Divine Feminine, from Spirit. Because a lot of the energy that you were in was necessary. Because again, remember, it was the catalyst for your growth. It was to push you to continue to grow. They talk about sometimes how the divine masculine and the relationship with the divine masculine is kind of like that dangling carrot, right? It's what pushed us, because we feel the connection so strongly, it pushed us to grow. But there was a shift midway through our ascension journey. We realized it was not just about the relationship, it was about our ascension process. And so we began clearing out the attachment to our masculines, clearing out the energy, recognizing that we have both energies within us, recognizing that it is about our evolution, our soul growth. and that our divine masculines would always be there, would always be a part of us. And we began focusing on ourselves and allowing ourselves to grow for the sake of ascension, for the sake of growth, because we recognized the transformation within ourselves, the empowerment that we felt, the strength and the beauty that we felt, and it felt good. We started to bring in our abundance. We started to see the manifestations. We started to see the shifts from all the work that we were doing. And it was like, wow, that's what this journey really is. That feels amazing. And so with that, more and more, we might have wobbled a little bit. We might have gotten pulled back into old energies a little bit. But that was just more of the spiral. That was just more of the deep dives, allowing us to go deeper, to pull even more of the stuff that needed to be cleared. All of that, what I like to call soul sludge, that lower consciousness energy, the old patterns, the old habits that might still be running in our subconscious. We had to pull all of that to the surface and clear that. And so it might have felt like we were repeating cycles, but it was just getting rid of that soul sludge, just getting rid of that debris. And divine masculines, as we know, they've been going through this as well. They've been doing this as well. But focusing on the divine feminines here, that what we experienced on this journey was necessary. It was necessary, especially because for those of us who are in this part of the collective, the segment of the collective, we really are one of the first waves. We really are leading the way. We really are paving the path. And that path is going to be easier and easier and easier for those for those to come. But we really had to pave the path and go through this almost like the hard way. Now, it's this dual message. We didn't have to make it hard. It was only hard because we didn't have a blueprint. We didn't have guides. We have guides within our own communities. We have mentors and support systems that have been helping us. So we have guides and mentors in that way. But, this is ascension. This is all kind of new. And so what's really happened is you've been paving the way, and that's what made it a little bit more challenging, a little bit more difficult, because we haven't had this before. We had old templates, old blueprints, old playbooks, all the old stuff. But this is new earth. This is higher consciousness. This is new love, new unions, new relationships, new ways of experiencing love and relationships. And so we really had to clear the way. That made it a little bit more difficult, but it couldn't have happened any other way. And so there's this real sense of bravado coming in from spirit, this sense of thank you. Thank you. You did a great, great job. But now it's time to end that cycle. Now it's time to release the journey. Now it's time to release all the heartbreak and all the trauma and all the intensity and all the pain that came with it, and just love. Just be in your divine feminine essence and just love. And so they're pulling me to this now. What's happening is you are right now continuing to clear out the old template of the cycle that you were in with your divine counterpart, where you felt abandoned or neglected or rejected, where you were in an energy of deceit or distrust, mistrust, self-deception. I'll get to that in a second. What's happening is those were energies that you were in for yourself, where you were abandoning yourself, where you were rejecting yourself, where you were neglecting yourself for the sake of the journey, for the sake of your counterpart. Now you know how to have healthy boundaries. Now you know how to nurture and nourish yourself and support yourself and love yourself. Now you know how to not sabotage yourself. You're aware of higher thought processes. You're aware of your emotions. You're aware. You're acknowledging anything that comes to the surface. You're not deceiving yourself. You're not allowing yourself to be deceived. You are upholding those healthy boundaries. You are standing strong in your self-expression. You're not allowing anything or anyone to suppress you or repress you. Always having the energy of compassion. Always having the energy of love. This isn't Queen of Swords here. This is the Queen of Cups. She's the energy of love, compassion, allowing that love to flow. Queen of Swords can sometimes be very blunt, very biting. You have that directness about you, Divine Feminine, but the feminine energy is very, very, it's soft but strong. That's what this is. And it's funny because I always say that's what dragon energy is. For me, dragon energy comes in fierce and warrior-like, but very, very tender and compassionate as well. And that's what I feel like this energy is, where your divine counterpart was showing you where you were still possibly people-pleasing, where you were still rejecting yourself and your needs, where you weren't standing up for yourself, where you were just sabotaging yourself by repeating old cycles or repeating old thought patterns or old beliefs. This journey has been the greatest catalyst for your growth and your personal evolution. And you can look back at where you were and see how you transformed. And not everybody's going to recognize that transformation, especially family, friends, co-workers, but you can see it. You can see it, and you can appreciate that within yourself. And all this energy is leading to this 10 of Cups. Feeling good within yourself, feeling warm within yourself, bringing in that abundance, bringing in that fulfillment. Because that's what this is. This is all about soul growth. And the more you grow, the more you recognize the soul within yourself, the more you're connecting to source energy and all that is, and bringing in that infinite, limitless abundance. So, Divine Feminines, I feel like what's happening is you are really doing the work to clear out any extra debris, any extra places. That's what the Scorpio full moon really had been pushing for. They're reminding me that today, as I'm recording this, it's Beltane. We have the 555 portal, significant number, 5s being a number of change. Interestingly enough, the 4-4 foundation. So you have been building a new foundation for yourself that is creating change, especially within your physical world, because the change and transformation within your inner world that is clearing out the old cycle of all this energy to bring in this 10 of Cups energy. This is what you are building, and you might not be able to see it quite yet. It might feel very difficult because there's still some cycles of illusions that we're moving through right now, and so you might be feeling neglect, you might be feeling abandoned, you might be feeling self-sabotage energy, you might be feeling old stuff coming up to the surface. But recognize that, become aware of it, have compassion for it, work on clearing it out, because this is all leading to the 10 of Cups. It's leading to change, and you might not be recognizing the change or where it's going just yet, but you can feel the transformation, you can feel the shift, and you might be able to see the beginnings of opportunities and abundance and all good things, which is going to help support you and help support this connection. So, clearing out right now, clearing out. This is clearing out the old cycle, especially when it comes to your connection. Okay. And when I say that too, I just want to clarify that for a minute. When I say clearing out the old cycle, that's what the old cycle was with your counterpart. Again, they were pushing you. They will never intentionally hurt you, but they will trigger the hurt within you, pull it up to the surface for you to clear it, for you to be aware of it, acknowledge it within yourself, and clear it. And so what had happened in the previous cycle was it had been intense, possibly even years of intensity, years of triggers, but that was all for the transformation. And you can recognize the transformation now and see your worth now, see what it was worth now, I should say, see that self-love that you have within yourself and how much you have grown, how much you have changed. And so with this, that's coming to a close. All that intensity is coming to a close because of all the healing work and the clearing work that you have done. You've brought it up to the surface, you're aware of it, but you've let it go. You don't attach to the story, you don't repeat the story of your pain, of your suffering. You let it go. That's what you've had to do as well. And so that cycle has come to a close. So now you can work towards the 10 of Cups. And that's where Divine Feminines really are now, having cleared out or still kind of clearing out this energy. This feels just very residual. What you're really doing is building this 10 of Cups now. What you're really doing is welcoming your abundance, welcoming your manifestations, welcoming in physical changes that are going to support beautiful abundance and manifestations in your physical world for your 10 of Cups, for your happiness. And that, again, is going to have a huge impact on your connection, but most importantly, it's going to have a huge impact on you. So it's what we were channeling in the beginning, where Divine Feminines really are experiencing beautiful changes, the golden hour within their physical world that is removing the past pain and intensity and past cycle within this connection and moving towards one of more harmony, more peace, more balance, more flow, especially flow of love. That's what you're moving into, a new cycle of flow and love, a new golden hour. Beautiful. Okay. Divine masculines. Where are the divine masculines? Divine masculines, please. This is interesting. Okay. Divine masculines, please. Let's get a couple of cards. Divine masculines, please. Wow. Divine masculines, please. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let me get one more, please, for clarifiers. Divine masculines, please. It's too many. Divine masculines. Wow, that's too many too. I'm gonna take them though. I'm gonna take them. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take this as well because this is clarifying the Ten of Swords for me. Okay. I'm gonna pause here and just mention I'm an intuitive reader. If you're picking up on a more traditional message, take it as it resonates for you. Divine masculines are creating forward momentum in their life, just like divine feminine. Remember when I said that divine feminine is really focused on herself and physical changes? Divine masculine is really doing the inner work. The inner work is going to lead to the outer work. The inner work is going to lead to the physical changes, but they're kind of going within now because they are going through more of an awakening by going deep within themselves, more of an ascension by going deep within themselves, with the Hierophant here being an ascension card for me, an ascension energy. And so with the divine feminine being in her limelight, being in the energy of the golden hour, she is just shining brightly. Divine masculine is being inspired by that, motivated by that. And he is moving forward within his own healing process. Now, they might not be entirely aware of this, but it's not that they're not aware of their healing. They might not be aware of the why. They might not be aware of specifically the journey that they're on, but they know that there's transformation. They know that there's changing. They know that they're shifting beliefs and shifting within themselves, possibly even shifting in their external world. But it's only because they are going through a massive shift within themselves. And that shift is an awakening. That shift is an ascension. That shift is growth and evolution. So what's happening is there is huge momentum here. This chariot has a lot of energy in it. This chariot is, you see the purple there? It's crown chakra energy. Their crown chakras are bursting wide open because they're shifting out of their old stagnant beliefs. Their old ways of looking at things just from a 3D lens, just from a physical standpoint, material lens. They're no longer looking at things just from the old mindset. They're really shifting their beliefs and expanding within their mind. And why that is because they're coming into balance and union within themselves, the balance of the masculine and the feminine energies. They're coming into balance within themselves, which is making them feel extremely connected to their divine feminines, which is making them think about their future, manifest their future, want to take action towards their future. This energy, there's so much here. I'm almost having trouble where to go first because there's so much happening for the divine masculines. They're really anchoring in union, that love within themselves, recognizing their worth, recognizing what they want to create for themselves. But at the same time, they're going through a massive ending. So there might be some tower moments. There might be some upheaval. There might be some past pain coming up to the surface for them. But that's all, again, for release. But it feels like it's happening all at once. It's like as soon as... yeah, that's what they're telling me. It's like as soon as one cycle ends, as soon as they shift out of one cycle, something else comes in and kind of rocks their world for growth and makes them shift their beliefs about something else to end another cycle, and it's going on and on and on. So it's very overwhelming for the divine masculines right now, because it's like their ascension right now is super accelerated. It's super accelerated. And I feel like it's because divine feminines are really stepping into this stepping up. They're really stepping up and moving through cycles quickly themselves. That's not for you to stop and slow down, divine feminines. The universe really is, spirit really is supporting these divine masculines, because it's time. It's time. I'm also hearing, because they had resisted this and were stubborn in shifting and changing and changing their perspectives and seeing things differently in the past, because it's time now, it's almost like it's hitting them all at once. But the universe is not, going to let them falter. The universe is not going to let them struggle or suffer. They're, as long as they are letting go of that resistance, letting go of that control, and having faith and trusting in higher power and source and universe, and trusting that they are supported and always supported, the more they shift their mindset, the easier it's going to become for them. There's just massive growth and massive shifts, massive cycles that are happening or ending right now. And so it's like everything is happening all at once. But this is going to balance out. It's gonna get calmer for the divine masculine. The more they release, especially release control, the more they release that stubbornness, the more they release that resistance, the more they connect to their divine feminine from the heart space. And when I say from the heart space, I mean authentically, sincerely. The more they view their divine feminine as their divine feminine, and recognize the connection, and recognize them as their counterpart, as their equal, as their partner, whatever it is that you want to call it, the more they connect to the element of love within the connection within themselves, the easier it's going to get. Because when you're connected to love, you're not in the element of needing to control or needing to expect a certain outcome. You're just allowing it to flow. The more they connect to their divine feminine energy within themselves and connect with you, embody divine feminine, the easier this is going to get. Now, when I say connect with you, divine feminine, I don't just mean in the physical, although it could be that way for some of you. I really mean to the energy. The more they connect to the energy, to your energy, connecting with you, it could be a number of different ways, but this really feels like the energy, the divine feminine energy within, the feminine energy within themselves, and connecting to the energy of divine feminine. The more they recognize this, the more they are it's just going to balance out, and the more stable they're going to become, and the more easy it is going to be for them to move forward. Now, this Knight of Pentacles with the Six of Pentacles, I really like this energy, because the Knight of Pentacles is the slower moving card of the Knights. Some people might say it's the slowest. I'm not getting that here. I'm getting just slower, because there's still momentum here with the Chariot, and the Chariot can be very fast moving. This Chariot is the divine masculine taking the reins now for their life. When we say releasing control, what we mean is that manipulative control. Trying to manipulate actions, trying to even manipulate other people, trying to control other people. The only thing you can control is yourself. That's the only thing. You can't control other people. You can't control big events. The only thing you can control is yourself and your reaction. And that's very, very hard on this journey to grasp, to understand, and to put into practice. But that's also where the divine feminine energy comes in. I should say the feminine energy comes in, which is just allowing and flow. That's the balance. So the masculine energy takes action, and the feminine energy flows. So when you're in balance with those two, what happens is, if any challenging situation comes up, well, any situation at all, we'll say, feminine energy flows with it, is able to be flexible, is able to be lenient, is able to adapt, be just in the energy of allowing, okay? And the masculine energy is like, okay, let's take action. This happened, so let's take action over here. We'll go with the flow of it and take action here. That's the balance of a united masculine and feminine energy. And so what I like about this is it's a little bit slower. It's not rush, rush, rush. It's not impulsive. It's not It's not like hot-headed. It's not stubborn. It's a little bit slower, but it's practiced. It's patience. It is sincere. It is grounded. It is just balanced. It's measured. So progress is being made, momentum and action is being taken, but it is like, I'm just going to take the next step. And that's exactly what Divine Masculine is doing. And with the Seven of Cups here, it's like they are dreaming and manifesting, but look at this. Look at this. It's not always like this, the Seven of Cups and other tarot decks. This is all positive things. You have the violet flame. You have a regular flame. You have a rainbow. You have sparkles. You have bubbles. You have the Holy Spirit, the dove. You have a vine of growth. This is all positive stuff. So where there might have been clouds, where there might have been lack of clarity, where there might have been timelines of suffering and strife and struggle, that is what is clearing out for the Divine Masculine. They're putting those burdens down because they are transforming, shifting their perspective, shifting their mindsets, connecting to the feminine energy within them, trusting, honoring their divine feminine counterpart, moving forward in their lives, taking the reins, taking direction, taking control, but from a place of self-authority. This is not, again, trying to control other people, but this is just, okay, this is what I have encountered. This is what I'm experiencing. This is how I'm going to portray myself. This is how I'm going to embody myself. That is the control and authority of the Divine Masculine energy. This is how I am going to portray myself. This is how I'm going to embody myself. This is how I'm going to react in the face of whatever it is I'm experiencing. That is what Divine Masculine is shifting within themselves, learning how to be that emperor, learning how to be the Divine Masculine. And there's a lot of shifts, a lot of transformations, a lot of shedding of the old because of that. So things might seem a little bit burdensome right now, but it's only because a lot of old cycles are coming to an end. And as those old cycles end, old beliefs are shed, and there's accelerated growth, super accelerated growth that's happening right now. So if things feel a little bit difficult for Divine Masculine, or even for the Divine Masculine energy within you, just know that it is all stabilizing, because there's just major change and transformation that is happening on an internal level for these Divine Masculines. Wow. Okay. Holy cow. All right. This is my new Ascension Confessions deck. It's a double deck. So it's 2 decks in one. It's Ascension Confessions and Ascension Expressions. Can you guys see that? Okay. So what this is this is the raw and the real in the Ascension journey. And then the other half of the deck is like support and guidance. The counter effect to the difficult aspects of Ascension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 2 cards. I'm going to pull a card for the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine for what are they experiencing on their Ascension journey right now. How are they experiencing? What's challenging them? Let's do that. What's challenging them on their Ascension journey? Divine Feminine. What's challenging the Divine Feminine on their Ascension journey? Divine Feminine, I want to live my life in joy and peace, but the truth is I'm scared and in pain. That is what is clearing out right now. They're moving towards that joy and their peace, but they're ending that cycle. Remember when we talked about it? The ending the cycle of the old version, the old template, the old phase, especially of their relationship, especially of this journey. You're clearing out, releasing the attachment to the journey. You're releasing the journey as a whole. You've completed that cycle. And so what you're moving into is more harmony, is more joy, is more peace. You're just clearing out any extra debris here. Divine Masculine. What's challenging the Divine Masculine on this Ascension journey? What's challenging the Divine Masculine on this Ascension journey? I'm in a void, feeling disconnected from everything. And I'm getting this energy of I'm feeling like I'm missing so much. I'm feeling like I'm missing so much of myself. And they're in this void because they are missing their old version of themselves, which had been comfortable. And that's why they stayed in that energy for so long and refused and resisted and were stubborn, didn't want to change, because they were holding on to old beliefs. They were holding on to old versions of themselves. So they might be feeling a little bit disconnected, but it's only because they're going through this transition, this transformation to become the new. So let's get Let's get an ascension expressions card. What's the flip side of this? Let's start with the divine masculine. What's the flip side for the divine masculine? What does this mean for the divine masculine, please, Spirit? What does this mean for the divine masculine? Yeah, I have faith that from the breakdown comes the breakthrough. They might feel like they're in a little bit of a void right now because they're clearing out the old version of themselves, emptying out that vessel, so to speak, in order to ascend, in order to transform into the new higher consciousness version. Breaking through. That's what they're doing. They're breaking through right now. Divine feminine, please. Let's get a message for the divine feminine. Let's get a message for the divine feminine. I love myself now. Yeah, she is stepping into the golden hour. She is stepping into the energy of joy and abundance. And that is only going to continue to support her and support this connection as a whole, which is really, really beautiful. Okay, I want to ask, how are you feeling about each other? Let's just get the romance angels. Yeah. Quickly, we'll do, how are you feeling about each other? And then we will get messages and close out. Okay, divine feminine, how are you feeling about your divine masculine? Divine feminine, how are you feeling about your divine masculine right now? How are you feeling about your divine masculine right now? Pay attention to the red flags. I feel like there's one more. Hold on. Yeah, okay. I feel like what this is you're freeing yourself. Remember when I said that you're freeing yourselves from the bond of the past cycle? Of the way that you were doing things? That's what I feel like this is. Pay attention to the red flags is bring to your awareness anywhere where you might be repeating a pattern with your counterpart. And what you're doing is you're freeing yourself from that, which is going to enable your connection to move more harmoniously, which is bringing in this true love to your connection. Which is going to allow you to move to a much more stable foundation, this is that Six of Swords energy. It's going to bring in much more peace, harmony, calm, balance, and love to this relationship, to this union. So, divine feminines, I feel like you're releasing the journey, you're releasing more of that attachment and learning how to just love, just to let love flow. And that's this energy again is paying attention to any repeating patterns, any repeating cycles, freeing yourself of that, recognizing that, bringing it to your awareness so that you don't repeat the past cycle within this connection. Divine masculine to divine feminine. How's divine masculine feeling about divine feminine at this time? How's divine masculine feeling about divine feminine at this time? Yeah, divine masculine, I'm going to take that too. Divine masculine is going through an awakening. This religious factors card is ascension. And you see that crown there? That crown is really expanding. And because of that, they're feeling the connection even more deeply with their divine feminine. Especially as the divine feminine is releasing that attachment. It's like the divine masculine is feeling that it's the magnetism, but it's not the magnetism as in the pull of, oh my gosh, she's leaving me. Although that might be what they're experiencing on a much more conscious level, on a much more superficial level. I'm going to say the physical level, the human level, we'll say. But it's more that they're seeing their divine feminine shining in her light, and that's really motivating them. That's really making them want to transform for themselves because they want to transform for her. But it's not just for her. That I don't want to say it like that because that feels so like that feels so like old school. That feels so like old template. It's not like that. He's feeling that desire for himself. He's seeing that there's so much more that he's capable of. He's seeing that there's so much more that he can do for himself, so much more that he can be, where perhaps in the past he didn't allow himself to believe that about himself. This is self-love. This is self-worth. And divine feminine has inspired him and even pushed him to do this. Not pushed him to change, but pushed him to want to transform and grow within himself. It's all about growth, not change, but growth. That's what's really important here. And so he is going through this awakening and ascension, expanding in consciousness, and that is helping him see more clearly the connection that he has with his divine feminine, and is making him feel much more connected to her. The connection had always been there, but he's feeling it now. He's allowing himself to feel it now. Okay. This is my new Written on the Heart romance-oriented deck. So let's see. Both of these decks are available in my Etsy shop. So let's see, what do they want to say to each other? I want to get Divine Masculine first. What does the Divine Masculine want to say to the Divine Feminine? Can you feel my love for you? He wants to know if you still feel that connection, because he's feeling it so incredibly strongly. He's feeling that love for you so incredibly strongly. He wants to know, do you feel this too? He wants to know. He's saying, am I going crazy? Am I going crazy, or do you feel this too? And I feel like she's saying, no, I feel it. I've always felt it. But now it's your turn. Oh, that's funny. Divine Feminine to Divine Masculine. Divine Feminine to Divine Masculine. What does the Divine Feminine want to say to the Divine Feminine? Or to Divine Masculine? Your love unhinges my very soul. Yeah, she definitely feels it. Let's get one more. Divine Masculine to the Divine Feminine. We've traveled across lifetimes together, hand in hand. They're recognizing the depth of this connection. And I'm also getting, he's saying, I'm always with you. I'm always with you. Divine Feminine, we found love when we least expected it. Bottom of the deck, you're the song my heart loves to sing. All right, you guys, that was really powerful, beautiful reading. I hope it resonated with you. I am sending you so much love, so much light, and we'll see you next week. Bye.